Hi, Amy. Yeah. Hello, my name's Adam. Nice to meet you. I go by a really silly old gamer tag slash Twitch username is UnknownTacticz. I don't know why. I did that when I was like 14 and it somehow stuck with me. I want to change it. I'm trying to go by Adam or at least AdamDadams or something. Something besides UnknownTacticz. I'm no longer 14. But yeah, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. I live in the United Kingdom now, in England, close to London. Been about 5 years now, and I do a lot of Twitch stuff, YouTube, TikTok, that kind of stuff. It's been quite fun.
That's
What else
really
do you want to
cool.
know?
So basically, my first question to you is,
Mhm.
has there been a time when you feel that, because obviously you're on Twitch and TikTok and stuff right now, has there ever been a time where your creative confidence has been knocked and you didn't want to create?
Good question. Um, Creative confidence in the sense that if I'm putting stuff out and it's not being like resonated with the audience,
Mhm.
that could have an impact on your creative confidence because you're like, well, am I funny slash creative as I think I am? Is this worth putting out there? Is it not? So yeah, I mean, you get that all the time. I mean, if a video flops on TikTok, you're like, well, a million things start running through your head about was it the editing? Was it the content? Was it just not that entertaining? Was the value not there? Twitch definitely so as well because like you look at numbers afterwards. If you I try not to look at numbers at all, but you do look at numbers sometimes, and it's like, oh, people are leaving, people are staying. Why? What's the fluctuations? And you can't really. It's hard to like deal with, but at the same time, you can't just have to let it go and just once I'm being creatively fulfilled, then that's a lot for me, and I've learned to just be okay with that, even though the results of like social media success might not be hitting where I think I want them to be. I've learned to love what I have and what I grow and what I put out.
Mhm.
And mainly I do all this creative stuff because I'm just like, extremely extroverted and my wife is quite introverted. So she's just like, can you just like vent this somewhere else? I'm like, yeah, of course. Great. So I grew up with instruments and different things and noises and people and accents and I just love to entertain really. So I've always had a
Yeah.
creative side.
I love that. And also the way I think you did actually do one of the streams on Twitch where you talked about numbers and not actually looking at them. It's like, I'm here,
Yeah.
I'm going to got to create. And I suppose it is that social expectation to kind of, this is a version of success that I've seen elsewhere. And then it's
Yeah.
like, I've got to kind of fulfill that. That's what other people are doing. Do you find that sometimes?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, you're
Yeah.
constantly with Twitch is such a weird thing because it's such a competitive landscape where there's millions of streamers out there and most of them have like no viewers and one viewer. So
Mhm.
the fact that I have like average 20 viewers,
So
that's like
good.
insane. That's success. That's success. So what
Yes.
does success actually look like? Um, that's what it looks like to me so far. And you have your little community that you build, and that's really cool. You have to see the same people over and over again coming to the chat rooms, and that's really fun. Um, so yeah, that is great. But there's always going to be the challenge of, well, I want it to be also a business because it takes time away from my family. I have a daughter, she's
Mhm.
two, almost
Yeah,
two,
yeah.
and a wife. I know. So it's every time I spend streaming is time away from them. And the thing about streaming is if you want to really succeed, you should be live so much, like every day, 5 to 6 hours a day. And I, as just a functioning adult with a job and a family, do not have that luxury. So I try to just cram as much as I can into like those 3 hours that I have for 3 days a week. And
Mhm.
I just try to just learn to like be content with it. I'm not in my early 20s anymore. I don't have all the time in the world. I'm never going to compete with those kind of people. And I'll just find my tribe and just kind of still throw my creativeness out there.
Yeah, definitely. And I
Yeah.
definitely see it like there's a lot of the times when I'm watching like your streams and things, and you'll just come out with like these different voiceover things. I'm like, you really need to be in voiceover and like putting in terms of like getting yourself out there and things like that.
Yeah.
Like just the way that you put yourself across. I've never seen it before. So I think
Oh, thank you.
sometimes that actually does attract you to certain people, even though like
Yeah.
obviously you do gaming and things like that. When I see your streams, I do think of like voiceover and like just the way that you present yourself in terms of, I
Yeah.
suppose, personal branding and all that sort of stuff.
I guess so. Yeah, it's about
Hmm.
personal branding. I've always been really like I've been always find it funny to just like do impressions and weird noises and stuff like
Hmm.
that. You know, I don't know if it's the undiagnosed ADHD or something. I don't know, but it's one of those things where I love, you know, I've always mimicked and copied things on TV, and I just find it funny and fascinating. And yeah, voice acting is something that I definitely considered. I've looked at it multiple times. I think it would be my next creative endeavor as like if streaming at some point I have to just dial it down a bit or
Hmm.
maybe a lot depending on like you know like we talk about success again and you know if
Yeah.
it's a side business as well as a hobby but at some point you know if it's too many hours putting in and not enough coming out then it's hard to justify with the wife. So I think my next thing would be voice acting, how to get into it. I don't know if people are looking for a Trinidadian voice.
Yeah. Get in touch
But
and like pop it in the
maybe a
comments and
niche.
things. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, voice acting is definitely something that I would love to pursue. I just need to figure out how to do it. It's such a weird like black hole of mystery of how do you get into it properly. So yeah.
But also, I suppose it's exposing yourself to other audiences because, like, just
Mm,
recently, I've been on like the world of LinkedIn, been on LinkedIn for a while, but I find there's a lot of like business people that are actually interested. So maybe that could be a place. And I know it sounds like quite
um,
out there, but
yeah.
the people who come through, it's very interesting.
Yeah, Twitter is what I've been using, but link maybe I'll make a LinkedIn just for
Mm.
my like AdamDadams persona
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
And because obviously different people resonate, the amount of like screenwriters and script people
Mm,
and film people that are actually on there. So that will probably be quite interesting thing to do, you know. But
that's a good advice actually.
yeah, in terms of a community there, when you were talking about Twitch and things like that,
Yeah.
yeah, can you tell us a bit as to why you kind of started coming onto Twitch and what
Yeah.
made you want to create a community on there?
It's a good question. I feel like I well, I'm 32
Mhm.
and 32, 33, somewhere around there. It
That's
gets
what I
hard.
do
It
now.
gets
I'm
like,
like,
yeah. After 30, it just gets, it's a blur. But basically, why did I start Twitch? I think the main thing going back to it is that it was during COVID and had a lockdown in England. And back to my wife was introverted, I'm extroverted. And she's like, look, it's just two of us in the house. You're driving me insane in the kindest way possible,
one
you
person
know?
upstairs, one person downstairs.
Yeah,
Like,
go play
yeah,
some video games or something, you know, like chill out. I mean, we're very close and everything, but
no,
like,
that's
yeah,
cool.
sometimes you know you just need your space separately.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so I was like, cool. I mean, I have a so background again. I have a really nice camera, as you can see, but it's from photography. So I did a lot of photography growing up. A couple of years, did like some couple different paid gigs, stuff like that. So some kind of creative outlet has always been in my cards. Before photography, I did YouTube videos like 12 years ago. I used to do Call of Duty montages and commentaries with different
Yeah.
voices. You know, I've always been in this space, but I think I missed the train of streaming because when I started, it was just YouTube, and
Mhm.
it was like very early YouTube. And then, you know, I got a job and that kind of died down. I started picking up photography. And while I picked photography up, the world of Twitch was starting to like gain traction. And people were
Oh.
getting money to play video games, pretty much is what it was. I was like, how? Why would people do this? So then I ended up looking at it a bit more. And yeah, then flash forward to the pandemic. I said, well, let's just try it. There's no harm, no foul. And yeah, I think I picked up a little bit of success quite early on. And I was like, wow, this is so just it's just amazing to have people you connect with people in this weird way. You know, I wasn't actually a Twitch viewer first. I was a Twitch streamer. Like I just jumped
Ah,
straight into
went straight in.
streaming.
Ah, right,
Yeah, I
okay.
didn't know any etiquette. I didn't know anybody in communities.
That's
I just
brave.
went,
That's
well, yeah.
courageous, honestly. Because I
Yeah, I mean,
think
if I had to
I'd
give any
just be
advice
like,
on Twitch streamers now, it would be like just be a part of a community, and then people who you know, and they know you, they'll kind of look at you maybe, or they'll stop by. But
yeah,
no, I didn't have that. I just played Among Us, and we just, you know, Among Us was very popular in COVID, and
yeah.
everybody played it. So yeah, I was doing a lot of that, and then uploading YouTube videos, etc., from those clips. Yeah, so that was pretty much it. And the community thing has definitely taken me by surprise in terms of, I think the first 6 months to 8 months is when I started like really being like, wow, this is actually like a community, like a
It
proper thing
is.
that is
And
like
you
I would
can
like to call
tell.
not mine, but like you know, it's here, right, like
Yeah.
around here.
And even like that banter sort of thing, like somebody will say something and that's really nice, isn't it? Like that people can be
They
like
always
that
bully
together.
me. That's what it is. They just bully me.
They love you really. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
It's a hateful love.
and in terms of like the so community and things like that, do you think then
Mm.
that has had kind of a knock-on effect on confidence as you've been trying to build maybe this put personal brand on Twitch?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a confident person,
Mhm.
probably too confident. But yeah, it's definitely helped me self-validate a bit in terms
Mhm.
of success, being like, wow, this is people are coming to the stream every time I press that, go start streaming, start recording button. People are showing up, and
Yeah, yeah.
not only showing up, supporting by watching, chatting, even financially subscribing, doing all these, tips, all kind of stuff. What at one point there was Christmas time and somebody gave me $100 US out of for just for no reason. I was like, oh, thank you. That's it blew my wife's mind that somebody would even give me $1. um, so yeah, there's always that. You just never know who's going to be watching, and it is kind of crazy. And then I think the biggest confidence boost was when I started networking a lot more in Among Us, and I got really close with some other really, really big streamers and the
That's
bigger
really nice.
people. And then I, legitimately became friends with them. And that was when I was like, oh wow, like now I'm in this like other world where it's not just me by myself. Like, oh, actually, I do have like I wouldn't not exploitive connections, but just connections where I'm like,
Yeah.
well, maybe it'll help me as well as just being good friends. So yeah, those have been really really cool to see. Um, hasn't really I haven't really tried to take advantage of the situation because I'm not that kind of person to like step on people to grow
No,
up
no.
like the social ladder
Mhm.
kind of thing.
Because that then
Um,
will sort of, I suppose, dictate your route of where you're going, and it's like if that's
yeah.
not you, then
No,
that just doesn't make sense, does it?
exactly, exactly. I'm not attaching to myself to somebody else who's not my brand, really,
Mhm,
even if I like them. So
mhm.
yeah, that kind of stuff has helped me a lot. I mean, I've done stuff for bigger shaving brand. I'm not saying names on the thing,
Okay,
but
no,
like
that's
a
fine,
big
no, no.
shaving brand. I did
That's
something for
fine.
them. I was like with one of the sidemen, and we played Fortnite
That's
together. I was
so
like,
cool.
what? I was like, I know. I was like, and then I got paid properly for it. I was like, never in a million years would I expect to be
That's
have this
amazing.
kind of success. And then I was on TV at one point for a gaming channel.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just a lot of. I mean, I feel like I'm boasting, but it is just
No,
like
no,
incredible to
but
reflect on
from
it.
being yourself, this is basically what happens though, doesn't it? It's
Yeah.
like people will recognize you for what you're about or truly
Yes.
about rather than what you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. Yeah. I see. I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah, yeah. So, I'm just going through my little list of
Yeah. Of
things.
course.
So how do you so in terms of community and how things are going at the moment then, how do you see yourself in a couple of years' time creatively? Have you got a plan or is it just
Couple of years. Yeah. A couple. I feel like I've actually said this. I've been streaming for 3 years.
Mhm.
And it's fun, it's cool, like I said about the balance of family life. So
Mhm.
I think the next couple of years would be this next 12 months. I think is going to be my kind of do or die with the streaming. I think if I don't know, it's such a lovely thing. It makes me the most. I've never had something that makes me so happy, to be honest.
That's so
And I
good.
Nicola, my wife, she knows this as well. But at the same time, it's a time sink. So it's like
Mhm.
it's about realistic expectations.
Yeah.
I might have another, if I'm blessed, maybe have another baby some point.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I mean? So you never know
Busy,
what will
busy.
happen with life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Last time I had my daughter, I took like 4 months off, which anything about if you know anything about Twitch, which you do, it's if you take a break, it's like gigantic hits. People just
Mhm.
forget you existed in the nicest way possible. Like it happens, right? So yeah, I never know what the next couple of years are gonna hold, but definitely after like the next 12 months, I want to look more into voice acting, something that I can like even acting, just something that I can
Yeah,
do creatively.
LinkedIn.
Like,
I definitely think you need to get on LinkedIn and like just
okay, I
like
will.
all these
I will.
different like voices, phrases, things. And I think people would actually be like, I really like this. And you like, don't know
I
why.
really like this.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, sure.
yeah.
I'll do. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think this. If anything come for this conversation, is I'm gonna
Mhm. Because
An
I thought
actual
the same. I
takedown for
was like,
me.
oh, people in like suits and this and that, and they won't really want to
Mm.
be interested. But actually, what I've been finding, it's more like the people who might be overweight, they might be stressed, they might just want a bit of creativity in their lives to kind of
Oh yeah.
take ease away from all that's going on, what they're doing. So when you see people like, you're thinking, this is really bizarre, but you never know. You never know.
Yeah. Also, did I answer your question? I don't even know if I did.
Yeah, that's great. No, that's great.
Okay.
Also, do you have a favorite game at the moment that you're streaming?
Yeah, Elden Ring. I'm not
I've
really
noticed you've played that
big.
quite a few times at the moment, aren't
Yeah,
you? Yeah.
I'm truly addicted. Like I've not. I mean, I would love to say that I'm a chatting person first, and then a
Mhm.
gamer after on Twitch. A lot more like just chatting stuff. No, a lot more antics, kind of being with the community, kind of chatting is my biggest thing. But yeah, recently Elden Ring is like this gigantic open world, just do what you want, explore, kind of. You think of what a video game could be, and this is it. You know, it's like secrets and this and big hard boss battles that you have to fight. And I've died a lot. I've died a lot. So I think that's quite funny as well in terms of the people viewing it. So yeah, I've been exploring that world, and it's been quite fun.
Mm, mm. That's really cool. I do like how you did just mention like chatting first is quite more important than the like gaming, and that's another thing that I've found. And I think that's what's bringing about community a lot, because what you talk about, other people within the stream might resonate with, and I think
Hmm.
that's seems to be, I don't know, it just brings people together, doesn't it?
It does. I think a lot of people have told me that I should just chat.
I think,
like
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I do get the most viewers and etc. and people coming back when I do when I'm in the chatting session. So I have like
Hmm.
first hour of my stream is always just chatting,
Hmm.
and then obviously sometimes some games not for everybody, so they dip, and that's fine. But yeah, I mean, I can chat forever, but there's sometimes if you do it for too often, you're like, well, is there anything else that we can do? It just depends. So yeah, I've been jumping into games just to try and mix it up,
Yeah.
and this has been quite fun from a gaming perspective. But I always think in the back of my mind, I'm streaming for connection. I'm streaming for entertainment and feeling that like the game is secondary. So I
Yeah.
always try to make what I'm doing fun anyway. So if I die, I'll eat like one of these hot beans that I have here. Like
They
that
keep
kind of
making
stuff.
was it last night? I kept saying, and then at one point, all I saw, because I was watching something else over the other side of it, and all I see your face like, I was
That
like, oh
was that
dear,
was
that's
like a
bad.
really yeah, that was a hot one. And that was I got something wrong in like a music guessing game or something like that.
Mhm.
It was fun.
But it's great. No, it's been such a pleasure to chat with you today. But my last question I'm going
Mm.
to ask: any words of wisdom or encouragement for the listeners today? It could be anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
Listeners, I mean your listeners are any kind of creative outlet, right?
Anybody, any words of wisdom. It could be personal, it could be creative, whatever little hints, tips that you have that you feel that people will benefit from.
Okay, I'll go big and general. Um Creativity wise, it's hard to figure out what makes you tick creatively. And when you do find that, you should try to explore as much as possible, and but without burning yourself out. So there's
Mhm.
always this fine balance of like you want to do something creatively that makes you happy, but then some people do it for a job and then it burns them out a bit, or some people just do it way too much and it burns them out a bit. So keep the things that make you happy creatively close to you, but also don't have any regrets with sharing them. So if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Amy. Appreciate it.